Sean's View Entertainment on YouTube.com. Make sure to like this video and subscribe, where it's always prolific, consistent, and dedicated with your WWE Battleground 2015 pay-per-view review, which was, of course, on the WWE Network. I got my cousin Russell with me for tonight's review, the rundown. Glad to have you on the episode.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, man. Thanks for having me over the pay-per-view. It was awesome. It was amazing. Liked it a lot.
It was definitely, it was one for the ages, ladies and gentlemen. It definitely was. It kicked off with Randy Orton versus Sheamus in the opener. And it only made sense that this was the first match to kick it off because they were in Randy Orton's home away from home, his backyard in St. Louis, Missouri, in a match that I gave 3.5 out of 5 stars because it was a pretty good match. It was decent. Randy Orton comes away with the RKO.
Yeah, that was good. I actually seen that one at my house before I came here.
Then we
got her in the middle of that one. Why is Sheamus so pasty white? I can't get it.
It's a big jar of mayonnaise.
It's unbelievable.
If you want to go to Burger King, ask for extra mayonnaise, and you'll be good.
Exactly. You'll be Sheamus. You know, you look just like him. Wait. Is this my shirt or Sheamus's body?
Wait a minute. Let me see here. Am I seeing through it? I don't know.
All right.
And then we're rolling on into the second match. Second match, ladies and gentlemen, would feature Roman Reigns versus this is going into the third match. The second match was the Primetime Players versus the Primetime Players versus the New Day. And you know what? This match, I'm not racist or anything. I understand all the competitors in the Ring of Black. I'm not racist. I got a lot of subscribers out of Black. The bottom line is the WWE Network wasn't working for me at that point in time, but I know that the Primetime Players came away with the victory. I'll go back and watch the match tomorrow. Still the tag team champions. Okay, now we go into the third match. Roman Reigns versus Bray Wyatt in a match that we know Bray Wyatt's been playing his mind games. Bray Wyatt's been trying to get in the head of Roman Reigns. And this match was awesome. Yeah. I enjoyed the hell out of it. And in the end, it was Luke Harper who would reunite with Bray Wyatt and reform the Wyatt family. And Roman Reigns would actually come out on the losing end after Wyatt hit Sister Abigail on Roman Reigns.
For some odd reason, I thought it was Dean Ambrose with this.
Did you think it was the Ambrose real quick?
Yeah, for a second.
For a second.
It was weird.
And then what he realized was the height of Luke Harper.
And then then I seen him, you know what I mean? But that was like ridiculous. On the apron and stuff, went back into the ring and, the finish.
And I mean, that was everything you would expect from Bray Wyatt and Roman Reigns. And Roman Reigns was a fighter. You want to talk about the auxiliary, the animosity, the strength, everything that Roman Reigns did, but it seemed like tonight Bray Wyatt was one step ahead of Roman Reigns. Once again, Bray Wyatt is mapping this thing out. He's got Roman Reigns right in the palm of his hand, and that's why he defeated him tonight. So you got to wonder, what is Roman Reigns going to do to combat Bray Wyatt?
Well, I think that his dad might have audited him a couple of times. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and we all know.
Might have got his taxes and a little bit of screw job.
Right? If you don't pay your taxes, your fair share, you know what happens. They'll be knocking at your door, and right now Bray Wyatt's knocking on the door of Roman Reigns. And so that was a great match. It was one of the matches of the night in my estimation. Up next, ladies and gentlemen,
that was a really good match.
We would witness a Divas match. We see the new era, the new way of Divas now. It's the NXT Divas versus the current WWE Divas. And you are seeing this taking place. It was Brie Bella versus Charlotte versus Sasha Banks.
A triple threat, right?
It was a triple threat match. And this was another good one. It really was. I got to admit, the WWE's actually putting time into the Divas. They're actually giving a damn about the Divas. These girls can go. I think it's going to take time. I think it's going to take time, but I think we're going to see back to the days of Lita, Trish Stratus, when women wrestling was good. Alundra Blaze, back in that day. That's when it was good. And actually, speaking about Alundra Blaze, every time I got those damn WWF...
The girl with the big hair?
No, that was Bull
Nakano.
Yep, Bull Nakano. But funny story about Alundra Blaze real quick is every time we used to get the damn WWF ice cream bars, you want to know who was on that damn ice cream bar? Freaking Alundra Blaze every freaking time.
I got maybe one or two Undertakers or Bret Hart ones.
He'd always get the good ones. I'd get the fucking sucky ones. It's like, what the hell's going on?
We were at the beach when we got the...
Yep, they'd always come to the beach, exactly.
Yep.
But not to get off track, but no, this was a good match. You are seeing the progression. You are seeing the dynamics. You are seeing the performance right before your very eyes. And it finished with the figure... Well, it was the figure 8. Although, it's a variation of the figure 4. She calls it the figure 8 after the Nature Boy, Ric Flair. Obviously, that's, the daughter. So she wins gets the victory over Brie Bella with the figure 8 in another match that was worth the watch. And then, ladies and gentlemen, without a doubt, the match of the night, without a doubt. As concerns moments, obviously The Undertaker takes that one. But the match of the night, John Cena versus Kevin Owens, obviously stole the damn show.
That was a good match, yeah.
And you can come on here and say what you want about John Cena, but he matched move for move. There was a lot of times that John Cena was, he was questioning himself. He was doubting whether or not he could put Kevin Owens away. Owens even used Cena's own tactics, his own moves against him.
I can't even believe that, yeah. I walked in here when, he had him in his own move.
Yep, the STF, the submission. Yep.
And I was, there's no way John Cena's going to submit. But he got through the rope in time. Yep, what I mean?
He had the hand up, though. You never know. He was ready. We were like, wait a minute.
He was ready. He's like,
wait a minute. Is he going to do it?
Then he ended up moving towards the rope.
Yep, he was able, just in the nick of time, he was able to do it.
Yep.
And John Cena, in the end, came away with, the STF finally.
Big W.
And then Kevin Owens had no other choice but to tap out. But once again, Owens showing that he definitely deserves to be on the main roster because he challenged John Cena. He took him to the limit. And, hey, at the end of the day, Kevin Owens has nothing to be ashamed of.
He is a good wrestler.
He is good.
Yeah,
I mean, he's not in the best of shape. Hey,
for a new guy.
For a new guy coming up the ranks and, busting his ass through the indies, coming to the WWE, he definitely put it, he reminds me of a modern day, the way he moves around the ring, the way his weight is, a Bam Bam Bigelow. He kind of reminds me of Bam Bam Bigelow back in the early 90s.
200 pounds smaller.
A little bit 200 times. But,
Bam Bam used to do a moonsault off the top rope, if you remember. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and Kevin Owens can do a moonsault off the top. So, there is a little bit, there is a little bit of some similarities there. So, Cena's still the United States champion. So, the U.S. Open will continue each and every Monday night on Raw. And then what the world is talking about, Brock Lesnar versus
The Undertaker, pretty much.
Right, yeah, you might as well say The Undertaker because Seth Rollins, there was no chance, there was no opportunity.
So many suplexes. He got
I lost 14? Count. I lost count after 14. 10.
No, I think you lost count after. I think he did about maybe 14 suplexes on him. And at the point, did you remember in the match when Seth Rollins in between his legs and he's just kicking away and Brock Lesnar just pulls him away?
Yep.
Yep. That was awesome.
I mean, the match itself wasn't anything because Lesnar just dominated it.
Yeah, he tossed him around
like a rag doll
for about 10 minutes, and then Brock Lesnar got taken into Tombstone City, and that was awesome.
That right there was a moment.
Really cool.
You want to talk about Battleground? You want to talk about where the battle lines are drawn? The Undertaker screwing Brock Lesnar, just like Brock Lesnar broke the streak. Not at this WrestleMania, but the one before this one at WrestleMania 30, where the streak was broken. Of course, Undertaker returned this year to face Bray Wyatt in a winning effort, but still the streak's broken. The streak's dead. So now, is this going to set the stage for SummerSlam? And let's mention how many tombstones to Brock Lesnar during this damn encounter.
Three of them. There were three of them. But
like WCW?
As I mentioned earlier, how cool would it have been if Brock Lesnar ended up winning the title and then went on to SummerSlam to face The Undertaker for the title?
Exactly.
How cool would that have been?
And that would have been the first time ever.
It just cut off air so quick that it was... I don't know. You know what I mean?
And that's the thing. It's going to draw you in now because it's like, okay, what's going to happen next?
Exactly.
And when I say for the first time
ever... He's been screwed over so many times.
Yep.
I mean, look how he lost the title. You know what I mean?
Yep.
When he lost the title, he just pinned Roman Reigns out of nowhere. You know what I mean? It wasn't like he did anything to win it.
Yep. He stole the belt, like you said. He stole it.
We can pretty much say that Brock Lesnar was screwed over from the title by a technicality.
Exactly.
And that's how I'm going to put it. That's how I'm going to put it. It was a technicality. Pretty much.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
Must have been while you were kissing me.
You took the words right out of my mouth, and you know what? That sums up Battleground right there. The technicality, and you know what? You know what? It would be awesome if we've seen Lesnar versus The Undertaker. I know we've seen this in the past, but never at a SummerSlam and never with the WWE World Heavyweight Championship on the line. And never as The Undertaker being the dead man, because the last time they faced off for the title at Unforgiven in 2002, we have to go all the way back to 2002.
Yeah, wow.
Was for the undisputed WWE title. And that was when The Undertaker was the biker Undertaker, as many of you may recall. He wasn't the dead man. So now he's the dead man, and now you got Brock Lesnar, who just came from UFC a couple years back. So now the whole dynamic has changed.
Yeah, you know what I like about Brock Lesnar nowadays is
he's legitimate.
When you watch him,
it's gonna be real.
We all know about wrestling. I'm not gonna mention. You know, don't want to mention. You know, like I said, the F word.
And not the F-U, yeah. We're going to keep it PG.
Yeah. But anyways, I love the fact that since Brock Lesnar's been in the UFC, every fight that he's had is a big game fight. It's like the real deal kind of fight, you
legitimate.
know? It's exactly. It's legitimate, and
you can take it at face value.
Yeah, exactly. And it was perfect for him to face Seth Rollins after, you know. So, anyways, after, you know, J&J Security was taken out, the Cadillac was taken out, whipped across the whole arena.
Yep.
Because he's a maniac.
He's a beast.
Oh, he's scary looking, too.
You would not want to meet that guy in a dark alley.
Just because Paul Heyman is the mouthpiece for him, that makes him more legit, and, you know, I think he's incredible like that. But anyways, he took out J&J, he took out Kane, everybody. Seth Rollins turned on Kane on Raw after he got smashed with, you know, the steel steps.
Yep.
And
he still battled back.
And you know what? I just really think that he was completely screwed going into this match, and I knew something was going to happen.
Something fishy. Something didn't add up.
We got to know something's happened. You could hear people in the audience cheering about The Undertaker and stuff on Raw.
And the rumors started flying around that The Undertaker's looking in good shape. He's been working out, lifting the weights. And then lo and behold, there's The Undertaker. And you know what?
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, and and then, oh boy, you know, if Gorilla Monsoon had been in commentary right then and there, I mean, everything would have played out perfect, but it was still a moment. That was one of those things where you stand back and say, you know what, the WWE can still produce. They can still bring you in. They can still leave you on the edge of your seat. And
exactly, because we have no idea what is going to happen when we're going into SummerSlam.
For all we know, it could be Lesnar versus Undertaker. It could be Rollins versus... It could be a triple threat match for the WWE World. We don't know.
Well, that's a good idea, yeah.
We don't know.
If they did that, yeah, that would be pretty awesome, you know, man.
At this point,
I don't know what you people think, but you know, leave a comment if you think that would be a pretty freaking good idea, you know, like
triple threat, number one. I mean, at this point,
anything, yeah. With I want the Undertaker and Brock. I really want to see Brock Lesnar pin Seth Rollins for a 1-2,
because we know it can happen. We know we can do it.
Because he is such a little agonizing, like, little bastard.
Exactly.
He's such a little bastard.
That's within the PG parameter here on Sean's View Entertainment. But no, I understand where you're coming from. That, and you know what, SummerSlam, it's going to be the hottest event of the summer. It's in New York, New Jersey area. If I'm lucky enough to get tickets, me and him will go review the show right there. But you know,
right from our seat,
right from our seat, Sean's View Entertainment, right there, but live in color. So yeah, New York, New Jersey, you're going to be in for one hell of a show for SummerSlam, because you know what? When the Undertaker shows up, it's a very rare event, and this is going to be a rare event. And you know what? How about a scenario like this? The Undertaker goes for the title, right? Oh, excuse me, I might be fired. I said title. It's championship. Vince McMahon does not like the world title being thrown around. Championship.
The WWE
World Heavyweight Championship. Yeah, I don't want to get fired for that.
Yeah.
But Vince, I'm sorry about that. I don't want to offend you in any way. But here's the thing. What happens if the Undertaker wins the WWE World Heavyweight Championship and retires as the champion? Imagine if he retires as the champion. That could happen, because you got to wonder, how much more does the Undertaker have left in the tank? How much? I mean, he's older, he's wiser.
How old is he now?
He's got to be in his late 40s. Right? He's got to be.
Oh no,
he's going to be into 50.
He's in his 50s.
He's going to be into 50.
I would say he's like 56, 55, something.
You know, he might be 50 right now.
He came in 1990, and he was probably about 30. So
so yeah, he's got to be in his 50s. You know, it goes by so fast. You think, well, the way he looked tonight, he looked like he was in his 40s. The way he looked
really good.
Real good.
Yeah.
And from the last time
he had a little bit of a tummy on him.
Yeah, but you know, I'm glad we've seen that, because the last time he looked like he was like a cancer patient. He looked bad. He looked sickly.
Actually, you know what? I want to mention this right now while we're on the show.
And this was WrestleMania 30, by the way.
Yeah. I'm talking about 31.
Yeah.
All right, so I thought at 31 that when he was facing Bray Wyatt,
A little slow.
I just really didn't think that was that great of a match, and
Yep,
I
it could've been a
don't
lot
really
better.
care what anybody says about it. You know, like I just thought that he might have just been done. Like that's the end of his career right there. Like
Yep.
if he can't perform like that.
Yep.
I mean, a lot
'Cause he doesn't wanna-
of people
he doesn't
said
wanna-
he was going pretty good and stuff. You know, but
He doesn't want to
then
stink
again,
the joint out. He doesn't want to stink the place out.
Exactly, and you know, we could do a whole another segment on 31, but you know what it is. It's just he's old. He's getting old.
Yep.
And
But tonight
you know,
he looked good though. I gotta give it to him.
I can't even believe he could lift Brock.
Like
Brock's
nothing.
huge.
Like a
Brock's
child.
an animal.
Like a
Yeah.
child.
Yeah.
So
it was crazy.
I mean, and Brock Lesnar tonight, and for all intents and purposes, rested in peace. And you got to wonder, how is Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman going to respond to this tomorrow night on Monday Night Raw, and what is sure to be a can't miss episode?
Oh wow, yeah, it's going to be incredible. I actually, you know what? I would want to come back here for the review if you don't mind.
Yeah.
If I come back for the
I'll
review
tell you what, right
of
now,
Raw
my
tomorrow.
subscribers and viewers are very committed to me. I'll tell you what, I'm going to ask the subscribers and viewers right now. My cousin Russ, we are blood, we are as together can be. 2 peas in a pod, peanut butter and jelly, whatever you want to call it. The bottom line is, at the end of the day, if you want Russ back with me in the reviews, in the previews, in the rundowns, in the predictions, thumbs it up, leave your comments, leave your feedback. Ladies and gentlemen, Sean View Entertainment. We'll get a name for him somewhere down. We'll think of something creative for him. We'll get
Well,
something going. We could just call you Russ. I mean,
For all those subscribers out there, I play drums for a band.
as you can tell, drum off.
Yeah, I actually won second place in the Massachusetts division of the Guitar Center Drum Off, and that's why I'm wearing the shirt.
Exactly, and that's a huge accomplishment. That is absolutely epic.
Yep.
And I have all the respect in the world for what he does, and it's something incredible.
So, anyways, hey, if you want to check it out at bandcamp.com.
That's bandcamp.com. I'll put the link in the description of the video.
wonderjunkie.bandcamp.com. The name of the band is Wonder Junkie.
Now,
That means you're a junkie for happiness and being...
Yep. Now, if you want to give him
You
just
know,
a little insight,
happy.
just give him a little insight to what your music is all about. Like, what is behind it? What does it represent? You know, what style? What style?
All right. Well, let me go off just saying this for a second. All right. So last night I went to see the Foo Fighters at Fenway Park. Classic.
That's why you might notice his voice
Event.
is a little hoarse, but it's still good.
Yeah, exactly. My voice is a little hoarse right now.
You're still connected word for
From
word.
screaming, yeah, so much.
He needs
I'm just joking.
Throat lozenge.
But anyways, yeah. So they're one of my favorite bands, you know, because Dave Grohl is my favorite drummer in the world, and he used to play for Nirvana. And if you could see right here,
Yep. Vintage. Classic. Yep. That's the symbol, right? That is that
little
right, the
smiley
logo. Yep.
face.
There you go.
Yep.
Representing.
Of course, yep. So, you know, he's my favorite drummer, and, you know, I take a lot from him on drums, and I've been playing for 20 years now. I'm 27 years old.
Yep. We're getting old.
Started when I was 7, you know. I used to play with my wrestling toys actually on my snare drum. Because it it reminded me more of a ring because of the way the drum skin just bounces up and down.
Everything
Anyway,
relates back to wrestling.
Exactly. Yeah. But, you know, if I were to say anything about Wonder Junkie, my band, you know, we're huge Nirvana fans. Our singer is a huge fan of Kurt Cobain and, you know, all his work and, you know, all that stuff like that. So, if you want to check us out, you know, like I said, we're an up-and-coming band. We sound good. You know, we know what we're doing.
I back him 110%. I am, like I said, and you know, I'm behind him 100. Just like he supports me, I support him. We are blood. We're family. We support each other. Okay, we're not in to say, well, one's better than the other. Of
course.
We are the best in what we do. We are the absolute best, and we're not saying that because it sounds good or because it looked good on a couple T-shirts. It is the truth.
No, of course it is. Yeah.
So.
Well, we try. You know, I don't mean to gloat, but you know, I think I am a, you know, pretty damn good drummer. I've been playing for 20 years, and you know, this whole thing right here.
And who knows, subscribers? Maybe one day my opening could be a theme song off of his band. Who knows? One day, you never know. Anything could happen. Anything can happen. Just like tonight.
Exactly.
Anything can happen in the WWE, and we witnessed that very scene tonight. So Battleground, a whole rating, just because of the surprise and the awe and the shock, I got to give it a solid 8.5 out of 10 stars. Solid.
Of course. Yeah.
Solid. Any closing thoughts?
Yeah, my closing thought would be, well, actually, my closing question would be, how many of you guys out there like old wrestling from the early 90s, right after it got into the late 80s when Bret was the champion? Bret's my favorite wrestler in the world.
Bret the Hitman Hart.
I met him
the legendary
August 1st of 2014.
PAL Hall?
Yes, PAL Hall.
Fall River, the PAL Hall, as Matt Hardy calls it, the PAL Hall.
That's funny. I didn't even know that. But anyways, I met him, and that was he's the most humble guy in the world. My question to everybody out there is, how would you want to see a review of me and Sean for WrestleMania 10?
And not only WrestleMania 10, if this gets over, if this catches momentum, we'll give you reviews of old pay-per-views. Remember In Your House, remember Survivor Series and the Royal Rumbles.
There's from plenty
back
of
in
them, yeah.
I mean, we can go on, we both have
like
the network.
Like the Royal Rumble we went to in 94.
Yeah, exactly, when The Undertaker rolls up to the...
Yeah, when we seen that was incredible. Right?
Yep, that was off the charts, and that was one of those things.
But then the next time at a pay-per-view I seen him, he was in a wheelchair at the King of the Ring in 97.
Exactly. It's referring to Bret Hart, right?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yep. Just so they don't get confused.
He was at that time with.
He was supposed to have a match with Michaels that night. He was actually supposed to have
had a match with Michaels.
Yep. Yeah. But originally Bret was supposed
to
go.
The mentally challenged kid jumped over the.
Remember that?
Thing and,
yep.
Vince McMahon called him a special Olympian. I'll never forget that. Yeah, that's funny.
I wonder if that kid's still around to these days. I'll give him a shout out if I know his name.
Hey, man, if you're there still.
Hey, all the more power to you.
There you go, buddy.
And that's going back to 97 at Providence Civic Center when it was actually called Providence Civic Center before it was renamed the Dunkin' Donuts Center in Providence, Rhode Island. But, tonight I think it was a great event. It was must-see. It was worthy of every cent, dime, and nickel you put into it.
It was excellent.
And I'm very happy to get my cousin here, share his thoughts and opinions. And once again, if this video gets enough likes, comments, and feedback and messages... Hell, if you even want to, send a tweet out, Sean's Entertainment will continue these reviews with my cousin by my side, and we'll run down WWE today, tomorrow, in the past, the present, the future. We'll do it all.
I would absolutely love that, Sean. I would love to do the old stuff with you. If your subscribers like how I am on your show right now.
Yep.
Then
I think they can feel a connection. I think they're going to sense the connection.
Exactly.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? I think that they might, if they're old school fans, they're in their mid to late 20s, even like if they're in their 30s, you know what I mean?
And I'm talking about fans that may have took a break and went back, because my cousin took a break from wrestling.
I took a break.
He did. We'll come right out. He was a big fan, just as big as I was, but he took a break, like a lot of people did. Listen, he wasn't the only one. Yep. Listen, you want to know why the ratings aren't what they used to be? Because you ain't have the characters like Bret. But that's a whole nother topic for another time. But he took a break. So did a lot of people. I stuck with it, thank God, and now I got him back because he's getting back into it again. So it all adds up now, and he's getting caught up. So it all works together.
Yeah, it catches you. It has a certain tick to it where it catches
exactly.
you right now. And they're doing an excellent job at it.
They are, and I mean, if you realize
the whole Rollins Lesnar thing,
that whole story,
it blew my mind that WWE could be so good, and I could actually represent it as the WWE and not WWF.
Exactly. So he's like in all these generations, all these different eras. It's drawing him back in again. It's like you go back and it's like, I'm reliving my child life here. It's like I'm going back to that time.
They're doing such a good job. It's like the Attitude Era.
You suspend your disbelief. You do all that stuff.
Suspend reality, and it's bringing you towards it. Even though it
draws you close.
The F word again.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
When we get older, I think you respect what they do in that ring, because when you watch it as a kid, you're like, oh my God, you're like, wow.
It is actually an art form.
Yeah.
It's like
they're drawing this great picture in front of you,
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's a dance. It's an art form, and it's probably the best dance in the world. It's better than breakdancing.
And it's a dance that there's no limits and there's no strings attached to them either.
Yeah, they can go as far as they want with it. You know what I mean? They can just keep
there's no
rolling
limits.
and rolling and rolling.
as their imagination keeps going and that thing just keeps swinging.
Yeah.
Like
Like
the Cesaro swing, like Cesaro, you know?
Yeah.
Who should have been on the pay-per-view tonight, but, you know, maybe he'll be United States champion soon.
Yeah.
But,
Something
this
will happen with him.
he's
going somewhere.
Yeah,
Definitely.
he definitely is going somewhere. Finally,
Yep.
the guy deserves his break.
Yeah, he definitely does.
This has been an excellent review. I enjoyed the hell out of it, Russ. Thank you very much for being on
no
Sean's
problem,
View
man.
Entertainment, buddy. And, meant the world to me. And this was a very special moment because, I got to share it not only with my viewers and my subscribers, but my own cousin, my own blood, right here on Sean's View Entertainment. So I just want to say thank you to the subscribers. I want to say thank you to Russ. And once again, if this gets enough views, likes, and comments, we will continue the review with Sean's View right here on YouTube.com. Remember to go check out the website. It's in the link of the description of this video. Subscribe, and thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Sean.
Have a good one, bud.